I like it because I know one thing for certain is that if you do get married, you must commit yourself to that.
Cliff Richard finally breaks silence on Elvis Presley, the man who inspired a generation of musicians and changed the course of popular music forever. Born Harry Roger Webb on October 14, 1940, in Lucknow, British India, Cliff Richard's early life began under complex historical circumstances. The backdrop of British colonial India, coupled with the impending upheaval of independence, shaped the very foundations of his upbringing. His family, like many others, returned to England in 1948 after India gained its independence, leaving behind the world they had known. Settling in the small town of Cheshunt in Hertfordshire, the family faced financial difficulties and struggled to make ends meet. These modest beginnings, however, could not stifle the spark of creativity and musical passion that young Harry possessed. From an early age, he was drawn to the sounds and rhythms of American rock and roll, finding particular inspiration in iconic figures such as Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and Buddy Holly. It was this early exposure to the dynamic energy of rock music that would eventually fuel his transformation into the United Kingdom's own answer to the American rock invasion. As a child, Harry Webb was both observant and ambitious. He absorbed the musical innovations of the day and spent countless hours practicing his guitar, experimenting with rhythm, and attempting to emulate the voices of his idols. His fascination with American rock and roll extended beyond music into the broader culture of performance. Its fashion, stage presence, and rebellious spirit captivated him. The influence of Elvis Presley was particularly significant. Presley's charismatic stage presence, smooth yet electrifying vocal delivery, and ability to captivate audiences left an indelible mark on young Harry. In many ways, these early influences laid the groundwork for the persona he would later craft as Cliff Richard, blending British sensibilities with the audacious energy of American rock. It was clear even at this stage that Harry possessed an innate ability to connect with audiences, to perform with both technical skill and emotional resonance, and to adapt the emerging trends in music to his own developing style. By 1958, Harry Webb had undergone a transformation that would mark the beginning of a new era in British music. Adopting the stage name Cliff Richard, he chose a moniker that evoked both strength and homage, Cliff representing the steadfastness and resilience of a cliff, while Richard paid tribute to his idol, Little Richard. This carefully chosen name would soon become synonymous with the burgeoning rock and roll movement in the United Kingdom. Forming his first band, the Drifters, which would later be renamed The Shadows, Cliff Richard burst onto the British music scene with an energy and style that had rarely been seen before. Their debut single, Move It, is widely credited as the first authentic British rock and roll record, reaching number 2 on the UK singles chart and instantly signaling the arrival of a new sound. The single combined driving guitar riffs with Cliff's charismatic vocals, creating a sound that resonated deeply with teenagers eager for music that spoke to their generation. His brooding good looks, youthful energy, and guitar-driven style made him an emblem of teenage rebellion in a post-war Britain that was otherwise conservative and restrained. He was, in many respects, Britain's first true rock star, a position he would hold firmly while continuing to evolve both musically and personally. The 1960s were a period of remarkable success and cultural impact for Cliff Richard. During this decade, he released a string of hits that would become enduring classics: Living Doll, The Young Ones, Summer Holiday, and Bachelor Boy. Each song showcased a combination of catchy melodies, relatable lyrics, and Cliff's distinctive voice, which balanced charm with a subtle edge of defiance. Beyond his musical achievements, Cliff also ventured into film, starring in several musical comedies that were beloved by audiences and further cemented his status as a household name. His presence on the silver screen brought his music to wider audiences, while his performances captured the imaginations of fans who saw him not only as a musician, but as a cultural icon. Despite the seismic shifts in music brought about by the arrival of the Beatles and the British invasion, movements that he himself had helped pave the way for, Cliff Richard remained relevant and successful. Rather than being swept aside by the changing tides, he evolved, demonstrating a remarkable ability to navigate the complexities of a rapidly transforming music industry while retaining his unique identity. His contributions during this decade were not only commercial but also cultural, influencing a generation of British youth and inspiring countless aspiring musicians. As the 1970s unfolded, Cliff Richard continued to demonstrate his adaptability and willingness to reinvent himself. Transitioning from teen idol to a more mature artist, he explored contemporary and introspective musical styles that reflected both personal growth and the evolving tastes of his audience. Hits such as Devil Woman, We Don't Talk Anymore, and Wired for Sound exemplified his ability to blend contemporary trends with his own distinctive style. During this period, he experimented with disco, synth-pop, and other emerging genres, showing an openness to innovation that many of his contemporaries lacked. This willingness to embrace change without sacrificing his core identity allowed him to maintain a consistent presence in the music charts and to engage multiple generations of listeners. His career trajectory in the 1970s illustrated the rare combination of artistic integrity, commercial sensibility, and personal authenticity, a formula that would underpin his long-lasting success and influence. A central pillar of Cliff Richard's life has been his deeply held spiritual beliefs. Becoming a devout Christian in the mid-1960s, he allowed his faith to guide both his personal and professional decisions. In an industry often characterized by moral ambiguity and relentless pressure, Cliff's spirituality provided a moral compass and a framework for navigating the challenges of fame. He frequently recorded religious music and consistently refused to compromise his values, cultivating a public persona that emphasized integrity, modesty, and respectability. Avoiding the wild partying and excesses that were common in show business, Cliff carefully maintained a clean image, which earned him admiration both within and beyond the music industry. His 1979 Christmas single, Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord, recorded with Boney M., exemplified his commitment to spiritual themes, blending his musical talents with his religious convictions. Moreover, his decision to remain unmarried and child-free while attracting public attention was handled with grace, dignity, and discretion, reflecting his commitment to personal principles over societal expectations. Throughout his life, Cliff Richard has maintained that he felt called to a life of service, independence, and authenticity, earning respect from admirers for living life on his own terms while remaining true to his beliefs. Cliff Richard's influence extended far beyond the borders of the United Kingdom. With dedicated fan bases in Australia, South Africa, and across Europe, his international appeal reinforced his status as a global music icon. Over the decades, he has sold more than 250 million records worldwide, placing him among the best-selling music artists of all time. His career is distinguished not only by commercial success, but also by the profound and enduring impact he has had on music, culture, and the values of his audience. Through a combination of talent, charisma, adaptability, and unwavering commitment to personal integrity, Cliff Richard has left a legacy that transcends generational divides. From his early fascination with American rock and roll to his pioneering contributions to British music, his enduring popularity and global recognition attest to the timeless appeal of his artistry. In summary, Cliff Richard's life and career offer a compelling narrative of talent, perseverance, and authenticity. From modest beginnings in post-colonial India to his rise as Britain's first rock star, his journey illustrates the power of passion, adaptability, and integrity in shaping a lasting legacy. Influenced by icons such as Elvis Presley, he transformed his admiration into a career that not only defined an era, but also inspired future generations of artists. His successes in music and film, coupled with his dedication to faith and personal values, provide a model of sustained excellence and ethical grounding in an industry often defined by fleeting trends. Cliff Richard's story is one of constant reinvention, cultural significance, and personal devotion, a narrative that continues to resonate with fans worldwide. Underscoring his place as an enduring and influential figure in the history of popular music, As the 1980s unfolded, Cliff Richard proved once again that he was not merely a relic of a previous era, but a versatile artist capable of evolving with the times. While many of his contemporaries struggled to maintain relevance amidst the rapidly changing pop landscape, Cliff continued to chart hits and reinvent his musical style. Singles such as Daddy's Home and True Love Ways exemplified his ability to merge classic rock and pop sensibilities with contemporary production techniques. He also experimented with synth sounds and modern arrangements, demonstrating an openness to innovation that kept his music fresh and appealing. Collaborations with other artists broadened his reach, allowing him to explore different genres while still retaining the signature Cliff Richard sound. Tours and live performances during this decade showcased his enduring stage presence, demonstrating that his charisma and energy had not diminished with age. Fans old and new alike flocked to his concerts, eager to experience the performer who had helped shape British rock and roll from its earliest days. Beyond his musical contributions, Cliff Richard dedicated a significant portion of his life to philanthropy and public work. His involvement in charitable causes reflected a deeply held belief in giving back to the community and using his influence for positive change. He worked tirelessly to support children's charities, disaster relief efforts, and initiatives promoting music education, often leveraging his fame to raise awareness and funds for those in need. These efforts not only highlighted his generosity, but also reinforced the values that had guided him throughout his life: integrity, service, and compassion. Recognition of his contributions outside of music came in various forms, including invitations to participate in high-profile charity events and public accolades that acknowledged the impact of his humanitarian work. This commitment to giving back added another dimension to his already remarkable career, painting a picture of an artist who was as dedicated to the welfare of others as he was to his craft. As the 1990s and early 2000s arrived, Cliff Richard continued to adapt to the evolving music industry while remaining faithful to his distinctive style. The decade saw him releasing albums that resonated with both longtime fans and a younger generation discovering his work for the first time. He embraced modern pop trends, incorporating contemporary instrumentation and production techniques. Yet he never abandoned the melodic charm and emotional sincerity that had defined his early hits. Tours during this period were met with enthusiasm, often selling out venues and drawing crowds that spanned multiple generations. Notable singles and albums from these years reinforced his position as a performer capable of bridging the past and present, demonstrating that true artistry is not bound by time. His ability to appeal to a broad audience was a testament to his skill as a songwriter, performer, and entertainer who understood the universal power of music to connect people across ages and backgrounds. Recognition for Cliff Richard's achievements has been extensive and well-deserved. Throughout his career, he amassed numerous awards, accolades, and honors that celebrated his contributions to music and culture. His knighthood, conferred in recognition of his services to music and charity, was a particularly significant milestone, underscoring his status as a cultural icon. Beyond formal awards, his milestones in record sales and chart achievements reinforced the magnitude of his impact. Over the years, he has consistently been cited as an influence by emerging British artists, demonstrating the lasting impression of his work on the music industry. Cliff's legacy extends beyond commercial success. He represents a model of professionalism, artistic integrity, and perseverance that has inspired both peers and fans alike. His ability to navigate decades of changing musical landscapes while retaining his identity is a rare accomplishment in an industry often defined by fleeting fame. Like many public figures, Cliff Richard faced controversies and challenges that tested his resilience and character. Despite intense media scrutiny, rumors, and occasional public criticism, he maintained a calm and dignified approach, carefully managing his public image. His commitment to a clean lifestyle and moral principles set him apart in an industry often characterized by excess and fleeting indulgences. These challenges, rather than diminishing his reputation, reinforced public admiration for his integrity and steadfastness. Personal reflections on career pressures and public expectations reveal a man deeply aware of the responsibilities that come with fame, yet committed to navigating these pressures without compromising his values. In confronting controversies with grace and discretion, Cliff demonstrated a remarkable combination of humility and strength, further solidifying his standing as both an artist and a person of principle. Cliff Richard's cultural legacy extends far beyond his immediate body of work. As a pioneer of British rock and pop music, he played a crucial role in shaping the sound, style, and spirit of a generation. His influence is evident in the countless artists who cite him as an inspiration, as well as in the musical standards and performance practices that continue to define British pop music today. The longevity of his career, spanning over 6 decades, stands as a testament to his adaptability, professionalism, and enduring appeal. Cliff's reputation for combining artistic innovation with personal integrity has set a benchmark for future musicians, offering a blueprint for achieving success while remaining true to one's values. Fans, critics, and fellow musicians alike recognize the profound impact of his contributions, acknowledging not only the entertainment he has provided, but also the ethical and cultural example he has set. In reflecting on the life and career of Cliff Richard, it becomes clear that his story is one of exceptional talent, resilience, and authenticity. From his modest beginnings in post-colonial India to his rise as Britain's first rock star, he transformed a childhood passion for American rock and roll into a career that redefined British popular music. Influenced by icons like Elvis Presley, he translated admiration into innovation, creating a sound and image uniquely his own. His achievements in music and film, combined with his commitment to spiritual values, philanthropy, and personal integrity, illustrate a life lived with purpose and dedication. Cliff Richard's journey is characterized by continual reinvention, cultural significance, and a steadfast devotion to his principles, ensuring that his influence will endure across generations. His story reminds us that true artistry is measured not only by fame or success, but by the lasting impact one leaves on both culture and the lives of others. Ultimately, Cliff Richard remains an enduring symbol of excellence, perseverance, and moral clarity in the music industry. His contributions transcend mere entertainment, encompassing cultural leadership, ethical example, and global influence. From the first strums of his guitar in Hertfordshire to international tours and philanthropic endeavors, his life embodies the transformative power of music and character. Fans across the world continue to celebrate his work, inspired not only by his melodies and performances, but also by the values and principles that have guided him through decades of public life. As the years continue to unfold, Cliff Richard's legacy stands as a beacon for artists and admirers alike, a testament to the enduring combination of talent, dedication, and integrity that defines true greatness.